Hey friends, it's Hawkins here. We are going to, or today starts a 2 week long activity, very similar to what we did with Mansa Musa. This time, the essential question we are going to answer is, why did Islam spread so quickly? Now, before we get into this, I want to make very explicitly clear, we are teaching about religion. We are not teaching a religion, okay? I am not preaching. I am not telling you that you should or should not believe any specific thing. It is our job as student historians and people of this world to learn about different cultures and different religions. Just like we learned about the gods and goddesses of ancient Egypt, we are now going to learn about one of the religions that started in Africa and the Middle East. Okay? Okay, just making sure we're clear on that. So now let's get into it. The essential question that we are going to answer is, why did Islam spread so quickly? So here we have a drawing of a medieval caravan of Muslim pilgrims traveling to Mecca. Ooh, ah, oh, wow. Okay, here's an overview. According to the holy texts of the Muslims, in 610 CE, a local merchant named Muhammad retreated to a cave outside the city of Mecca in Arabia to meditate. There, the archangel Gabriel appeared and gave Muhammad words to recite. These words were to give birth to a religion called Islam. Within 140 years, followers of Islam had created an empire that ruled the Middle East and stretched across North Africa into Europe. This mini-Q explores why this new religion was able to spread so quickly. Friends, 140 years is not a long time. The fact that this religion was able to be birthed and grow so rapidly is just phenomenal, which is why we're studying it and which is why we are asking the question, why did Islam spread so quickly? Now, in order to answer this, we are going to look at 5 different documents. We're going to skip document A. We're going to look at verses from the Quran. We're going to look at the spread of Islam, which is going to be a map. We're looking at the Gasu, the duties of the Caliph, and the people of hymns. Okay? But like every mini DBQ, we are going to start with a background essay. The whole point of this background essay is to give you, background information before we start looking at all of these actual documents, okay? So that going into it, you know what you're looking for. And friends, also I need to say, we are doing all of this very similar to what we did with Mansa Musa, where we have a text and then questions to answer, and then a text and then questions to answer, and then a text and then questions to answer, so that by the end we can answer this big essential question. We are doing all of this to give you practice, because practice makes permanent. If you keep practicing correctly, and we keep doing this together, and you watch the videos and you follow along in class and you try your hardest, then next year and in 8th grade and in high school and college if you choose to go, and if you get into an argument with someone in your life, you are not just going to spurt out random stuff. You are going to have your claim, your evidence, and your reasoning. Okay? So, okay, I'm done, I promise. So we are going to read this background essay and we are going to answer these questions. Remind me, when we have a text to read and then questions to answer afterwards, which do we look at first? I need you to actually answer. Say the word out loud. Which do you look at first? That is correct. You look at the questions. Thank you. So let's take a look at our questions. We have 6 questions and then definitions. Okay. Question number 1. When and where did Muhammad first receive words from Allah? Number 2, what were the two main ideas expressed by these words? Number 3, what were the 3 religious practices one could find in Mecca before Muhammad's revelations? Number 4, why did Muhammad leave Mecca for Medina? Number 5, can you explain why Muhammad's turning from Jerusalem and facing Mecca is called a symbolic break with the past? And then in parentheses, it gives us a little bit more explanation. Isn't that kind of them? A symbolic break would be a change with special meaning. So really what this is asking is, why was this act of Muhammad turning from Jerusalem and facing Mecca significant? And then our last question, what are the 5 pillars of Islam? Okay, and then we have 6 words that we have to define. Allah, pagan, Kaaba, Islam, Quran, and Ramadan. So before we get into the text, I want us to look at this timeline, and we'll talk about it for a hot second. 570 CE, so Common Era, like after the year 0. Remember how this works? So we have BCE, which is before Common Era. We have the year 0, and then we have Common Era. Yes? Okay. So 570 CE, Muhammad was born in Mecca. 610, Muhammad receives first revelation at Mount Hira. 622, Muhammad leads the first Muslims to safety in Medina. So in that 12 years, not only had he started his religion, but he had followers in his city of Mecca that he moved, or he was able to lead to another city, which we'll learn about in the background essay. 628, Muhammad returns to Mecca. 632, Muhammad dies. 636, so this is only 26 years after Islam started. The Battle of Yarmouk takes place in the modern-day border between Syria and Jordan. Muslims defeat the army of the Byzantine Empire. They were a huge empire, and the Muslims beat them. 692, the Dome of the Rock, which was a Muslim shrine, is finished in Jerusalem. And 710, Muslim forces land in Spain. So in just 100 years, the Islamic religion has moved from Mecca all the way to Spain, which is hundreds of miles. And can you imagine that without planes or trains or automobiles? Okay, so now let's go ahead and read the text. Remember, we are looking to answer these questions, and we are looking to define these terms. If you need to remind yourself, go back in the video and rewatch that part where we read the questions so we know what we're looking for, okay? These terms are going to be in bold, so that'll help too. Follow along with me as we read. Why did Islam spread so quickly? In 610 CE, a merchant trader from Mecca made one of his frequent visits to a cave on nearby Mount Hira. From Muhammad ibn Abdallah, it was a time to pray, to get away from the scramble for money and wealth he felt was causing his people to lose their way. According to Muhammad, it was on this visit to Mount Hira that the archangel Gabriel squeezed him hard and caused words to flow from his mouth. The words said that Allah was the one God. Hey, there's a vocabulary word. Pause the video, write it down. No doubt a bit shaken, Muhammad reported the event to his wife and her cousin, but otherwise stayed silent. The words continued to come. We're going to pause right there. Are there questions that we can answer? Okay, so pause the video and answer them. Remember, you are in middle school, you are answering in complete sentences. Welcome back. That, friends, is a really good strategy. If you don't remember what the questions are asking, you can always pause at the end of each paragraph and go back to the questions. So the first question we have answered. The second question, what were the 2 main ideas expressed by these words? Have we gotten there yet? No, so we'll stop at the end of the second paragraph to see if we've answered it then. In 610, Mecca was a bustling Arabian trade town with camel caravans arriving regularly from points north and south. So there's Mecca right there, from points north and south, all over. It was also the site of an annual pilgrimage where Arab pagans came to perform rituals at the sacred Kaaba, or the holy shrine in Mecca. Now, I'm going to give you a freebie. Thank you for watching this video and following along. Pagans isn't really described here. So what this really means, what pagans were people who either believed in many gods or did not believe in any specific god. Kaaba is defined there, so I will let you do that work yourself because you are responsible middle school students. The Meccan population included a number of Jewish families and some Christians. There may have been a feeling among the pagan Arabs that their religious world was less sophisticated than that of the Jews and the Christians. They had nothing to match the Torah and the Bible. So I'm assuming you know what the Bible is. It's the Christian holy book. The Torah is the Jewish holy book. They had no Abraham or Moses or Jesus. All of these people were prophets. But all that was about to change. So it's the end of the second paragraph. We're gonna pause here. Can we answer any of these questions yet? We can't answer two. Can we answer two? Oh, we could have answered two after the first paragraph. It's right there. It says the word said, okay. Can we answer number three? What were the three religious practices when confined in Mecca before Muhammad's revelations? It's right there. No, it's not Abraham or Moses or Jesus. The religions, friends. Not the people, not the prophets, the actual religions. Okay, continuing on. After receiving Allah's words for 2 years, Muhammad decided it was time to talk. Encouraged by the support of close friends and his wife, Khadijah, Muhammad began to recite the received words in public. He spoke of the one God, Allah, and the importance of charity, or sharing wealth with the weak and the poor. Together, these teachings would be given the name Islam, the Arabic word for submission. A follower of Islam was to be called a Muslim, meaning one who submits to the will of Allah. After Muhammad's death in 632, Allah's words that Muhammad was reciting would be written down and called the Quran. Oh, hey, look. Earlier it was talking about how the Jews and the Christians had holy books. Do the Muslims have a holy book? What's it called? There you go. Can we answer number 4? Why did Muhammad leave Mecca for Medina? Not yet. Let's keep reading. I'm going to read quick because we're short on time. At first, many in Mecca resisted Muhammad's preaching. What would happen to idol worship? Surely pilgrimages to Mecca would stop. Businesses would suffer. By 622, resistance was so strong that Muhammad decided to leave. Together with 70 families, he migrated 250 miles north. There, in the town of Medina, he established a new base. He also made a symbolic break with the past. Muhammad had respect for Jews and Christians, people of the book, as he called them. However, at a prayer session in 624, Muhammad symbolically turned his body to the south, away from Jerusalem and toward Mecca. It was as much as saying that a new religion had been born. Go back, answer the question. In 628, Muhammad made the hard decision to return to Mecca. Despite opposition, he was allowed back in the city. He soon had enough support to order that the idols in the Kaaba be destroyed and the shrine dedicated to Allah. Pilgrimages to the Kaaba became one of the 5 pillars, or essential duties of Islam. So we've got pilgrimages. These duties, confession of belief, prayer 5 times a day, Ramadan, which is an annual month-long fast, giving alms to the poor, and the pilgrimage to Mecca, would become the bedrock practices of Islam. From this modest beginning in West Central Arabia, Islam exploded in size. Within 100 years of Muhammad's death, it had reached Europe and Asia. The question before us is why? You are going to examine the documents that follow and answer that question. Why did Islam spread so quickly? Now, friends, can we answer this question yet? Of course not. We only have background information on what Islam is and how it started. Starting tomorrow, we're going to be able to answer this question. Why did Islam spread so quickly? If you need help, as always, you can ask me, you can ask Miss Dodge, and be good people, make good choices. Bye. If you stayed this late, I'm going to tell you a secret. Today's my birthday.